you know what? This sounds like a good idea to overhaul the failing Veterans Affairs system, but a proposed Senate bill may do more harm than good. Pete Hegseth is the CEO of Concerned Veterans of America, and he joins us live today. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so we remember the great big funding bill put together by Murray and Ryan.
Yep.
What it does is it strips away a number of veterans' benefits. And so Bernie Sanders, the independent from the great state of Vermont, has come up with this gigantic spending bill that most service organizations are for, but you're against.
No, that's right. So the Murray-Ryan deal took out, it basically decreased the amount of pension increases for the future for veterans. So it tried to balance the budget on the backs of veterans, which our organization came out against very, very forcefully.
Right.
What the Bernie Sanders deal does is addresses that, and that's great. And it does a lot of other wonderful things.
Right.
The problem is it piles on $30 billion of additional spending at VA and elsewhere, and it doesn't, A, have a plan to pay for it, B, takes from war funds to pay for it,
right.
and C, it is going to overwhelm, likely, a VA system that, as we've talked about many times,
sure.
is already up to its neck in how do I address this. So we want to work with other veterans organizations that are working on this, but right now the VA is pretty much only for those with disability,
sure.
some level of service-connected disability. This would broaden it so broad that any veteran of any time who served at any point could have access, which I'm not, who has opposition to that? I don't.
Right.
But if you flood a system with so many people that is already overwhelmed, if everyone is a preference, nobody's a preference. So those people who want to access it can't get it.
And that's the problem right there.
Yeah.
Because we have done and you have depicted as well over the last couple of years, the trouble with the VA system where people who really need the service can't get it.
Yeah.
People wait in line for years. And then if you flood the system with millions of more people, the people who really need it right now can't get it.
That's exactly right. And that's why it looks weird for a veterans organization like us to be opposed to a massive veteran spending bill that has a lot of great stuff in it. But if you step back and look at it, more spending doesn't equal better outcomes. More spending in this instance means more people flooding a system, like you said, that's already overwhelmed.
So what would you like them to do?
Well, I think there's ways you can address these things already. In fact, I talked to a lot of sources in the House and the Senate who said this may pass the Senate, but on the House side, they want to take a piecemeal approach, kind of like what you heard in immigration. One by one by one, there's a lot of problems in the Veterans Administration that need to be addressed. We can take them on. There's already bills that have been passed. They'll do that. So there's a lot of question about whether this bill in the Senate, Senate Bill 1950, will actually make it as a package to the House. Let's look at advanced funding. Let's look at all the different things the VA needs so that it's ahead of the curve without flooding it. And the VA hasn't even asked for this additional demand, we'll say. So there's a lot of ways they can get at it without doing this.
They just need to be a little smarter about what they're doing.
Absolutely.
All right, but we could say that about a lot of stuff. Captain, thank you very much.
Steve.
All right, Pete Hegseth.